I'm Robert Putnam, author and host of the new documentary series, Our Kids, based on my research chronicling the growing opportunity gap between rich and poor kids in our nation.
In a country as rich as America, that over 40 million people are living in poverty is despicable.
Our last resort would be sleeping in my car. That's not a proper place for a kid to grow up.
Someone's income doesn't determine their worth or their child's worth. We're all trying to raise our children. So whether you have a little bit more money than I do, we all want the best for our children.
When I come to school, people would make fun of me of how I looked or what I wear because it was so different of what they were wearing.
With me growing up, I had a hard time. My mom was always in and out of jail.
I wasn't even living at home. I was living with my grandparents. I didn't have a great relationship with my family.
I went to, I want to say at least, and I'm sure it was more, but I want to say at least 10 different foster homes.
Literally, most of the time it's just yelling.
They would pretty much hit my little sister and make her sit in an ice cold shower because she would pee on herself, but she was still a kid, you know?
These kids have seen more in their lifetime, sometimes 5 and 6 years old, than you and I have seen in our lifetime.
There's a group of people who believe that some young people just aren't born to do great things.
We're the poor kids and they're the rich kids.
We have isolated people into that's where the poor kids go. We're not going to send our kids to that high school anymore. We're going to pull out and our town's going to create our own school. I don't want my kids around those kids.
Should everybody have access to education, whether you're rich or poor? Like, education's a basic human right, like water.
The way the system is designed and the way that it's functioning right now is my greatest sorrow.
All the inner city schools are like low funded, their test scores are low, and they're all people of color. And like the high performing schools are mainly white students.
These are kids who sit in rooms that would be struck down under basic slum condition.
The buildings themselves are falling apart. You know, teachers have complained of mice and rats in the buildings, of broken windows, lack of heat.
During the winter, they have to wear winter coats. They're shivering, they can see their breath, and it's too cold to study.
Because right now we have like an apartheid-style education system. There's a track for poor kids, there's a track for rich kids.
I feel dumb, and I feel like I was let down. Like,
I didn't have that opportunity, you know, so I felt left behind.
The promise that I think has been broken for our children, that's the promise of the American dream. The promise that it doesn't matter where you're born, as long as you work hard, you can reach whatever heights you want to. That's not true in America anymore. The kids that are born into the lowest income quintile have a very, very small chance. Most of them, over 60%, will stay in the bottom.
I always got told that I was going to turn out like my family. Even by other family members, I got told that I was going to turn out just like my mom and dad.
We'll just go to jail or make babies and be on welfare. That's the thought, and so that's how they treat us.
But if we don't empower them, the incarceration is going to continue. The recidivism is going to continue. The drug use is going to continue. The teen pregnancy is going to continue. The overdose is going to continue. We're just going to have a society of young men and women that are lost.
These are still kids. These are kids with a future in front of them that isn't written.
I'm optimistic as individuals and communities are making a difference, creating bold, innovative approaches that offer new hope to the children and families society has forgotten.
I guess my goal is just to work in high poverty schools and do something creative and innovative to help break that cycle.
The Robberson School serves one of the poorest areas in Springfield, Missouri. Known as a wraparound school, it serves as a community hub, providing many basic social services to families in need.
It's kind of a blended thing with school and social work now.
They get to go up and hug people without anybody getting crabby. You have to be willing to accept hugs in here.
My family is from Kurdistan,
and I was born in China.
My parents are from Latin countries, Mexico and El Salvador.
Parents come from Cairo, Egypt.
And I am from Ethiopia, which is in Africa.
And I was born in India, but I live in Nashville.
Valor Collegiate Academies is a network of free college prep charter middle schools in South Nashville that celebrate diversity.
Here at Valor, we usually have one partner like for the whole year, and we use these hand signals. This is agreed, this is disagreed, and this is sending love.
Riverside detective Brian Money found a way to reach kids before they end up in the back of his patrol car.
Make sure your judo belts are on straight.
To teach them judo, they have to make a commitment to school.
They have to be doing well in school, and if they're not doing well, then we'll help them.
Mr. Money has made a tremendous difference in Anton's life, allowing him to be here. It's awesome. He has no idea how much he changed his life.
Keep going.
IGHT, ice, like in fight. I wrote the program, Project Moving Forward, which is a program to accelerate language development.
Traditionally underserved poor and those with English as a second language eagerly engage in this accelerated learning path that celebrates their smartness.
Yeehaw! Kiss your brain, Smarty.
And the future in front of them can be fantastic.
Sometimes it gets hard and like they talk about, oh, you know, you've been dealt with like some very hard cards. I'm sorry. They always tell me like, you have to like just focus on what you want and what you do to get there.
Every bit of my energy goes towards proving my family wrong and proving to them that I can do something that they had never even imagined and that I can be whoever I want to be and as successful as I want to be without anyone having to tell me that I can.
Like, they just gave me a lot of hope to be a different person, and that's what I'm really trying to do.
Yeah, it is. It's overwhelming.
It's overwhelming because you see where they came from and they just needed someone to believe in them and give them a chance.
The public media in America have a unique opportunity to play a role, not in telling Americans what they should do, but in showing Americans what other Americans are already doing to try to narrow the opportunity gap.
What do you say? It's gonna be a happy day. Please